Why do we humans tend to lack faith in God and complain so much? By what miracle did God provide for Israel? What or who is the true bread from heaven? Did the Israelites fall back into unbelief and start complaining again? Do we grumble? On the 15th day of the second month, after the Israelites had escaped from Egypt, they left Elim and started through the western edge of the Sinai desert in the direction of Mount Sinai. There in the desert they started complaining to Moses and Aaron. "We wish the Lord had killed us in Egypt. When we lived there we could at least sit down and eat all the bread and meat we wanted. But you've brought us out here into this desert where we're going to starve." Did God hear their grumbling and do something about it? Then the Lord said to Moses, "Behold, I'm about to rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a day's portion every day, that I may test them, whether they'll walk in my law or not. On the 6th day, when they prepare what they bring in, it'll be twice as much as they gather daily." Who were the Israelites really grumbling against? So Moses and Aaron said to all the Israelites, "This evening you'll know that it was the Lord who brought you out of the land of Egypt. In the morning you'll see the Lord's glory, because he's heard your complaints about him. For who are we that you complain about us?" Moses continued, "The Lord will give you meat to eat this evening, and more than enough bread in the morning, for he's heard the complaints that you're raising against him. Who are we? Your complaints are not against us, but against the Lord." Did God listen to their grumbling and respond to the Israelites' complaints? Then Moses instructed Aaron, "Say to the whole congregation of the Israelis, 'Come near into the Lord's presence, because he's heard your complaints.'" While Aaron was speaking to all the congregation of the Israelis, they turned toward the desert, and there the glory of the Lord was seen in the cloud. The Lord told Moses, "I've heard the complaints of the Israelis. Tell them at twilight you are to eat meat, and in the morning you are to be filled with bread, so that you may know that I am the Lord your God." What did the Lord do in the morning for the Israelites? "And it came to pass that at even the quails came up and covered the camp, and in the morning the dew lay round about the host. And when the dew that lay was gone up, behold, upon the face of the wilderness there lay a small round thing, as small as the hoar frost on the ground. And when the children of Israel saw it, they said to one another, 'It's manna,' meaning, 'What is it?' For they didn't know what it was. And Moses said to them, 'This is the bread which the Lord has given you to eat.'" How were they supposed to handle the manna? "This is what the Lord has commanded. Everyone gather as much as he'll eat. You'll take an omer apiece, according to the number of people each of you has in his tent." The sons of Israel did so, and some gathered much and some little. When they measured it by the omer, the one who had gathered much didn't have too much, and the one who had gathered little didn't have too little. Everyone gathered as much as he would eat. Moses said to them, "No one's to leave any of it until morning." But they didn't listen to Moses, and some left part of it till morning, and it bred worms and stank. And Moses was angry with them. They gathered it morning by morning, everyone as much as he'd eat. But when the sun became hot, it would melt. Did God provide for them so that they could rest on the Sabbath day? On the 6th day, they gathered twice as much, 2 omers for each person. And the leaders of the community came and reported this to Moses. He said to them, "This is what the Lord commanded. Tomorrow is to be a day of Sabbath rest, a holy Sabbath to the Lord. So bake what you want to bake, and boil what you want to boil. Save whatever's left and keep it until morning. So they saved it until morning, as Moses commanded. And it didn't stink or get maggots in it. Eat it today, Moses said, because today's a Sabbath to the Lord. You'll not find any of it on the ground today. 6 days you're to gather it, but on the 7th day, the Sabbath, there won't be any. Did some of the people disobey God's Sabbath command? Is there a single Sabbath command in the entire New Testament for Christians? If not, in what or whom do we rest? Some of the people went out anyway on the 7th day, but they found no food. The Lord asked Moses, "How long will these people refuse to obey my commands and instructions? They must realize that the Sabbath is the Lord's gift to you. This is why he gives you a 2-day supply on the 6th day, so that there'll be enough for 2 days. On the Sabbath day you must each stay in your place. Don't go out to pick up food on the 7th day." So the people didn't gather any food on the 7th day. Even though the manna didn't last until the next day, except for Friday's manna, was there a special pot that God would preserve for posterity? The house of Israel called its name manna, and it was like coriander seed, white, and its taste was like wafers with honey. Moses said, "This is the thing which Yahweh has commanded. Let an omer full of it be kept throughout your generations, that they may see the bread with which I fed you in the wilderness, when I brought you out of the land of Egypt." Moses said to Aaron, "Take a pot and put an omer full of manna in it, and lay it up before Yahweh to be kept throughout your generations, as Yahweh commanded Moses." So Aaron laid it up before the testimony to be kept. How long did God provide food for the Israelites to eat manna, the bread from heaven? The Israelites ate manna for 40 years until they came to a livable land. They ate manna until they came to the border of the land of Canaan. An omer is 1/10 of an ephah. What did Jesus say relating to this in John's Gospel? "I'm the living bread which came down from heaven. If any man eat of this bread, he shall live forever. And the bread that I will give is my flesh, which I'll give for the life of the world." Why do we humans tend to lack faith in God and complain so much? By what miracle did God provide for Israel? What or who is the true bread from heaven? You decide.